We are tracking storms across Nashville all the way to Ashville, north in the Carolinas. We are tracking storms across a lot of states out there this evening, this Thursday evening. You can see that we've even got storms down in Alabama. We've got storms down in Texas, all the way up to Kentucky, and then obviously several storms across Tennessee right now as well. Let me get my radar set up and let me know where you guys are watching from this evening. We can kind of tailor this forecast or this radar update to where you guys are watching from. So stick that in the comments section. I can see that over here on the side of the screen. I'll move my computer just a little bit closer so we can chat. So let me know where you're watching from and we'll kind of get started here. Let's start closer to Nashville. We've got some populated areas that got hit with storms earlier this evening. We did see a pretty good report of a lot of 1-inch hail sizes in Nashville. I bet we got some larger stones mixed in there as well. Now we've got ping pong ball size hail out near Baxter, Buffalo Valley, Gordonsville, and Granville. 60-mile-per-hour winds with this as well, and about 10,000 people impacted here. Let's take a look at this local storm report. LSR, local storm report, $half size hail on Old Liberty Road. So these local storm reports often come in from police departments, fire departments, maybe even people on social media that just post their picture and they say, this is where I saw this storm report. You guys can always send us pictures as well as you see hail out your window. Taking you down to Texas now. We have storms down in the southern side of Texas. Let's get some cities on here. Crystal City, Pearsall, 1-inch size hail. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6 o'clock tonight. What else do we have here? Another quarter size hail report here, or a quarter size hail warning. Not terribly impressive. Let's see if there's anything else that's impressive farther down to the south here. In Texas, come on, here we go. This warning is updating. All right, we've got some ping pong ball size hail. This is in the far southern side of the state. And last but not least, got a small hail report, or small hail warning, excuse me, for 1-inch size hail. Not only a small warning, but also small hail up a little bit farther north than Corpus Christi. All right, I'm gonna check your comments now. See where you guys are watching from today. Here's a look at your severe thunderstorm watch. This goes until midnight tonight, so we have a while still to track these storms. And I think what we're going to see over the next hour or two is we're going to see this turn from a hail threat, threatening hen egg, tennis ball size hail stones, all the way to a wind threat. So we're going to see that transition here within the next few hours. All right, let's take a look at your messages here. Who all is watching today and where are you guys watching from? If you put that in the chat, I can kind of tailor this exactly to where you guys are watching from. So let's go through some more of these severe thunderstorm warnings here. This is just south of London, Kentucky. So right along the Kentucky and Tennessee state line, we've got 1-inch size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But these storms are getting really clustered. Now let me tell you, with these storms that are clustered, you can see how they're all kind of combined together. It's hard to pick out one cell from another. This is whenever we start to see those hail sizes go down. However, if they can stay a little bit more isolated, I think that those hail sizes will stay on the larger side. We've got anywhere between ping pong ball to potentially hen egg sized hail that we could still see this evening. But the later in the evening that we get, the smaller those hail sizes will be. Spring City to Rockwood, this severe thunderstorm warning impacting about 7,600 people here. We still have quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This is Spring City and Rockwood, and it looks like we are updating this severe thunderstorm warning to not be in effect anymore. So that has been expired. Let's take a look at some of these hail reports. So this is right outside of Ashville. Zoom out a little bit to show you exactly what we're looking at. And I think you're going to want to see this severe thunderstorm warning that's moving to the east right here. We're going to get down into that. Give me just a minute here. North Carolina, we've got a few local storm reports just outside of Asheville. Let's see, what do we have here? Starting north and then moving down to the south, we've got a quarter size hail report up near Patterson, 1-inch size hail. Let's move down a little bit farther down to the south. Ooh, golf ball size hail out in Hudson. This is in Caldwell County, and that was at 5:19. So that was about an hour ago. So this is 5:19 Eastern time. We have a wind report out of this as well. And that is reporting that multiple trees have fallen down because of high wind down in Morgantown. Now I want to show you, and I'm actually going to get a little bit closer here, and if we can change radars, we may change radars as well. In the Bellwood and Lincoln area, this severe thunderstorm warning impacting 33,000 people for ping pong ball size hail. A very impactful warning, and that is why you see those black stripes on this warning, because this means that it is significant. We've got up to golf ball size hail here, anywhere from Lincolnton to Maiden, Newton, and Westport, all included in this warning. Again, about 34,000 people included in this warning. And this goes until 7:15 Eastern time, so we've got another hour on this warning. This is going for quite some time. It makes me think that this is probably a slow mover. Not too slow. National Weather Service saying this is moving to the east about 30 miles an hour, so really not too bad there. Anyone watching from this area? Joshua says, hello from New Braunfels, Texas. We've got people tagging each other saying it's coming your way. Alert your friends, let them know that you are keeping an eye on the storms, or maybe that they should be keeping an eye on the storms. Again, golf ball size hail out in Lincolnton, Maiden, Newton, and Westport. What other questions do we have on here? Now, while we're waiting for those questions to come in, why don't we get a look at the storm reports that we've seen so far? We can take a look at Nashville. We can take a look at some of those other big cities that have been hit. Let's see if there's anything else to report here. You know, we had a severe thunderstorm warning up near DC earlier. Is it still ongoing? Oh, it has been cut down so significantly. Let's check this out. What is this up in DC, near DC? So this is right south of DC. Severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30 Eastern time. So we've got another 12 minutes on that. 1-inch size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds, and there must not be a ton of people living in this area because it's not even giving us a population to tell you guys. Zoom out here and see if there's anything that we have missed. And if not, no, it looks like we have been over the most significant storms right now. And again, that storm that is so significant is moving to the north of Charlotte right now. So it's moving directly to the east, about 30 miles an hour. But that's going to skim the far northern side of Charlotte, North Carolina. So this could become a more impactful storm. We'll have to see what it does once it gets to Mooresville. It's going to be a while. It's probably going to be right around an hour, if not shortly before that. Let's actually take a look at how far away this storm is from Mooresville. About 30 miles away, and again, it's moving to the east at 30 miles an hour. So we've got about an hour until it hits Mooresville. We'll have to see if it can sustain its strength, if it can stay as intense as it is now, then it could do a lot of impact out in Mooresville, North Carolina. So we'll have to keep an eye on this storm right here. I think that is the most impressive storm that we have going on right now. And is there a better radar that we can use to get a better idea of this storm? Let's see. I'll tell you something, a little inside baseball here about this system that we use. It's phenomenal. It can only hold 10 radars or 12 radars at a time. So whenever we have such a widespread system like what we see right now, we can't put every single radar on there. That would be like 20-something radars. So we have to cut down. We have to make some changes, and it looks like, okay, this is updating now that we do have a closer radar, getting a little bit better of a view of this storm that's coming into Bellwood right now. And still warned for golf ball size hail About 34,000 people impacted in this warning right now. And now this out on the East Coast is a little bit after rush hour. It's about 6:30 there right now, 6:20 technically. So hopefully people are home and not on the roads, because it is about to go through a pretty populated area with a major highway right in between this storm. So 321, Highway 321 will be something to keep an eye on here over the next 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes, I think, will be what we see until the storm gets to the highway. But it is raining on the highway right now, so that's going to slow down traffic anyways. Get right down. What does our radar indicated hail marker is what you see there. That's this this cloud with hail falling out of it. So what this shows you is it shows you the updraft, the winds into the storm, and then you've got what goes up must come down in the form of rain and hail. So what this is it's a hail marker. It shows you what the algorithm that we use would classify this hail size. This is not a hail trace algorithm. This is just an algorithm that this product has. They would say about 3 inches for maximum hail size. I don't think it's going to be that large. But I do think we could see some large hail out of this. So let's take this marker off. There we go. And let's look at some other products. I don't often use these different products in here. But we can look, so this is velocity. What I'm doing now is I'm looking around to see if there's any major rotation in this storm. And I don't see anything major, which is great because that means that tornado threat is not there. And I'm going to look on radar scope as well. I just went 2 different views of this storm right now. Now, radar scope is showing a little bit of a different story, maybe a bit better rotation. Let's just turn this on. Storm relative velocity. Let's turn this off. There we go. Now, this is kind of what I'm seeing on my radar scope here. So you can kind of see the rotation right in here. And what this shows us is that we have a storm that's decently organized. If we zoom out a little bit, what we're going to want to see to keep this storm organized is a good south wind to continue this inflow in here. And what we're seeing right now is this storm farther down to the south may block some of that south wind. So we'll have to see how these two interact with each other. And let's just get some information on this storm farther down to the south, because this may be more of an impact on Charlotte. This is Shelby, North Carolina right now. $50 size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, impacting about 40,000 people. That storm in Shelby is moving into Gastonia. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And we do have a few storm reports from what this storm has already produced farther back to the west. So let's take a look at that. Forest City, Lake Lure. You guys have to listen to my poor pronunciations, and then you also often test my geography skills, but I appreciate you sticking in there. Quarter-size hail farther back to the west in, what is this, Forest City? Is that what I said? That was reported at 5:37 Eastern time. So about an hour ago, a little less than an hour ago. What about this other storm report? $50 size hail, and that is 2 miles north-northwest of Rutherfordton. And I'll show you here, just to the north of Greenville, North Carolina right now, what we're watching for is just a line of storms. And one of the biggest risks that you see in setups like this, as I play this through, let's see if it'll do a little radar loop here. There we go. So what you see in setups like this is that we've got one area that gets rain, and then it stops raining, people go out and they say, oh good, it's done. But what they don't know, if they're not paying attention, is that you've got another storm back to the west, another storm back to the west. And they're all kind of tracking in the same line. We call this training thunderstorms because they all kind of go right on that same track, right? What that does is that increases the severe weather threat. That increases, people are less likely to watch storms after the first storm that goes through. They often think that their severe risk is done, so this third storm isn't always on their mind. Another thing that we often see is a flood threat, because you get that heavy rain once and then you get it again and then you get it again, and it increases that flood threat. We have a new local storm report. Let's take a look at that local storm report, because I bet that this one is pretty impressive. This severe thunderstorm warning was warned for golf ball size hail. So let's see what this local storm report is. Quarter size hail, and this is in Cooksville. I wonder, as we get into some more populated areas, if we're going to get more big hail reports in. We have one question on here coming in from John King on Facebook. He's watching from South Charlotte, and I assume you mean Charlotte, North Carolina. That is the exact place that we are forecasting for, or monitoring radar for right now. So here's Charlotte. What you're watching for, John, is you've got a storm up to your north, but if you're in the south side of the city, you've got some time, because you'll probably be hit with these storms farther back to the west. Those storms may go to the north of you. They may hit you. We'll have to see how direct east this storm track is. And I'll give you the speed of the storm. Let's see. How fast is this moving? Not very fast. We've got some slow movers out there. This is moving to the east at 20 miles an hour. So remember that math equation that you guys used to do in elementary school, high school, college, maybe? You know, if you've got a car that's moving at X speed, how long will it take them to get to their distance? That's what we're going to do here. If this is moving 20 miles an hour and this storm is 30 miles away from Charlotte, then when will it arrive in Charlotte, in downtown right here? I'll just tell you, it'll probably be about an hour and a half. It's going to be a while until these storms make it all the way downtown. Now, we'll start seeing these storms impact more people as they approach the city over the next half hour. So we're going to slowly inch closer into the city here. But again, they're moving pretty slow, right around 20 miles an hour. And I can put you a storm track on here. Let's zoom right into the city. Let's get you a storm track. We'll make it 25 miles an hour, just give you a little extra time here. So these storms, or this first storm at least, will get into the city by about 6:30 this evening, Eastern Time, Kings Mountain. 6:39 approaching Bethany, 6:42 at Bessemer City, and 6:51 South Gastonia, 6:55 in Gastonia, and I hope that I'm saying that correctly. So basically what this is saying is that it's about to cross Highway 321 here, right around 6:50. So we've got at least 20 more minutes until at least the outer edges of this storm. So right around here from the storm, we'll reach the highway. And then some of the heavier rain, the hail threat is going to come right after that. Anyone else watching from the Carolinas today? Carolinas just getting hit over and over with that large hail. We were talking about in our meteorology chat earlier, we were saying that not only has Ashville gotten hit with all of that flooding from Hailin a few months ago, just absolutely terrible situations there, but we are also now seeing some large hail in the city. So what we saw earlier was reports of golf ball sized hail in Ashville, and these storms being slow movers, that means that they will produce that hail for quite some time in the same place, oftentimes accumulating on the ground, causing even more issues. So it's, I know, been a pretty tough weather year. Let's see, what is this local storm report? This is just to the northwest of Greenville. We've got quarters up there. All right, we'll have to keep an eye on these storms that are just kind of skirting around Greenville right now. Again, just a reminder for all of those in Charlotte that your severe thunderstorm watch goes until midnight tonight. So you still have many, many more hours to keep an eye on these storms. What we're watching for right now is a hail threat. However, that hail threat is going down while the wind risk is going up. So what we'll probably start seeing, instead of these local storm reports that are hail reports right now, we'll probably start to see more of those high wind reports in the next few hours. So maybe not now, but in the next few hours, it'll become more of a wind threat. So just something to look for as we head into the evening hours. What do we have out here? This is just to the east of Nashville, Tennessee. $50 size hail on Fight Road. That's coming in from the public. $50 size hail on Old Liberty Road. And this was reported about an hour ago, just under an hour ago. And then a 1-inch quarter-size hail on Trammell Branch Road. So that's your situation across Kentucky, Tennessee. We still have a few severe thunderstorm warnings down in the northern side of Alabama. A watch going on in northern Georgia right now, but no warnings that I can see. Very similar for South Carolina, and then a ton of warnings out in North Carolina right now. Any other questions on this Thursday evening as we cover the storms across the Tennessee Valley? We can go down to Texas. I know we oftentimes have people watching from Texas on here. So we can head down to Texas, give you an update. Right before I do that, I want to show you Florida. East Florida today, East Florida right now has severe weather. I was going to say earlier today, but I guess it's going on right now. Okay, your local storm report in Florida. Oh, I was going to bet quarter-size hail. It's smaller than the size of a quarter. Half-inch size hail reported out in Florida. I kept those hail sizes for Florida small today. I said, I don't think that these are going to get very big. This is warned, however, for ping pong ball size hail, so we'll see if we can get something out of this. This is in Oak Hill, Florida, just to the south of Daytona Beach. There we go. Okay, let's go down to Texas. I know that we often have a lot of people watching from Texas. Not a terribly populated area. However, check out this severe thunderstorm warning. Looks pretty impressive from what I can see so far. Okay, golf ball size hail. That's moving into Pearsall right now. And then we've got Dilley down there as well, right along I-35. This storm is warned until 6:15, and it is moving to the northeast at 20 miles an hour. So most likely more impactful to Pearsall than it is to Dilley. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning goes for 45 more minutes. Golf ball size hail. Okay. Pretty impressive, Texas. Anything else? What do we have down here? In far southern Texas, ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust impacting about 500 people here. Down in New Falcon, Texas. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to pop out some larger hailstones. Let's take a look at this. Local storm report out of Cashier's. Quarter-size hail, that was reported at 6:24, but this severe thunderstorm warning is for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This goes until 7:15 Eastern time. So again, right around another 40 minutes left on this warning. And if I zoom out, you can see exactly what we're watching here, or where we're watching rather. This is in the far southwestern side of North Carolina. So let's see. The far southwestern side of North Carolina moving to the north-northeast. What other directions do you want me to say? East, southwest, I got it all. Southwestern side of North Carolina moving to the northeast, about 30 miles an hour. Golf ball size hail included in the severe thunderstorm warning that's moving again to the northeast about 30 miles an hour. Warned until 7:15. So we've got another 40 minutes left on this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back up to Charlotte and let's see if we have any new information for these storms that are just on the outside of Charlotte right now. Are we using the best radar for Charlotte? Let me double check that we're getting the best data in here. Yeah, it looks like we are. Charlotte is right in between several radars. You've got the Greenville radar, and then the next closest one to you is that Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, you guys are almost in a radar hole out here. Now, one thing that I do want to make note of is that we're seeing we're seeing an imping report for a funnel cloud in this area. I'm trying to get the right location for you here. Yeah, right over here. Now, imping reports cannot always be trusted, but in this area, we are seeing a report of a funnel cloud, so I wonder what they're going to say about this. Let's see, what does the National Weather Service say about this severe thunderstorm warning? Warned for half-dollar-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for Lincolnton, Maiden, Newton, and Westport. About 33,000 people impacted here. And we have some rotation here, however, it's not impressive enough to say that anything is absolutely rotating. However, I did want to make note of that, so definitely stay on top of this warning right here. Keep an eye on it. We're just so far from the radar, it's very, very difficult to know what's going on exactly in this area. You know how you're so far away from it? Do you know how you can tell? Is that you start to see some of this purple pop up here, and that's how you know that you are right on the edge of good data, good radar data here. Now what happens is that radar is sitting down there in Greenville, and what it does is it shoots out beams, it shoots out scans as far as it can go. But the farther and farther that it goes, the higher and higher up it sees into the atmosphere. So by the time you get all the way to Lincolnton, you're seeing way up into that storm. So you're not getting an accurate representation of what's happening at the surface. So it's oftentimes very difficult to decide what is going on here whenever we are so far away from the radar. Just a little inside baseball to what goes on whenever meteorologists see these storms. We have to consider a lot of those factors that you may not think of, that you shouldn't have to think of. That's our job. Again, what we have warned here is half-dollar-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We've got another 25 minutes left on this severe thunderstorm warning. Lots of severe thunderstorms to the north of Greenville. It almost seems like they're going around the city here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going on in North Carolina right now, and I don't think that's all. So 6 total severe thunderstorm warnings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total severe thunderstorm warnings going on in North Carolina right now. We knew that this was going to be a busy day, and it absolutely has been. Right around noon, we started to see our first few severe thunderstorm warnings popping up in the western side of Kentucky and Tennessee. We saw that risk expand to the east while we saw more severe thunderstorms popping up, and now we still have ongoing storms in Kentucky and Tennessee while we have storms in North Carolina as well. So what you'll see here is not only one line of storms here, but look back to your west. You've got another round, and you've got another round as well that is moving through. Where is this storm right now? Just to the south of Nashville. Quarter-size hail moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, a little bit faster farther back to the west. As we were talking about the radar here, I'll show you the comment that came up. This is our CEO, Derek Klein, and he's out there trolling on Facebook. Derek, I thought you were on vacation. Go enjoy your vacation. We were talking about the radar, right? Let's show you. So I'll explain to everyone else who's watching out there what Derek is talking about. Let's go back to this radar right here out of Greenville. And I was showing you that it's difficult to see really good radar data the farther you are from the radar, right? That makes sense to us meteorologists, but I was explaining why. You've got that radar, right? There's curvature of the Earth, so the farther that you go out, as that radar shoots up into the sky, you're going to see higher and higher up into the storm. And Derek thinks it's very funny, it is very funny, to ask, wait, so the Earth isn't flat? We love a good troll. Thank you, Derek, for popping on, even on your vacation. Thanks for joining us. We hope they're having fun. Everyone congratulate Derek and his wife. They're celebrating a wedding anniversary this week. And then next week, Hail Trace is celebrating their 15-year anniversary. So we have been a company, Hail Trace has been a company for 15 years. We've got a lot of celebrations going on, and we're going to continue those throughout the rest of the month. But one of the celebrations that we have is actually giving back to those of you who are watching today, giving back to the clients of Hail Trace. We are giving away a drone, and it's a pretty cool setup. Here, let me show you here. I've got a picture of this drone, and here we go. So we're giving away a drone. There's the drone. There's the remote controller. It's got a 4K camera on it, and you can actually see what the drone is seeing from the remote controller. It's really, really cool. It's got a stabilization gimbal on it as well, and a lot of other really, really cool things that I'm sure go a little over my head. It's up to a $600 value item that we are giving away. So I know that everyone's saying, how do you win this? You can enter into winning this drone, enter into the contest by recording a video or writing a post about how Hail Trace has helped your company succeed. You can tag us on any of these platforms. Each platform is another entry into the contest. Tag Hail Trace and use our hashtag 15 years of Hail Trace, and that is how you are entered into the drawing. We've already seen several people enter, and we have loved reading your posts about how Hail Trace has helped your company succeed. That has been a really fun thing that we've done, and we'll start to repost those here in the next few days. So thanks for everyone who's entered already. You can still enter to win. We are going to continue this contest all the way until the end of the month. I was going to tell you how many days that is, but I can't do that math in my head. Just kidding. Okay, let's take a look at your storm tracks. I think that these storms out by Charlotte, North Carolina, north of Greenville, these are going to be some of the most impactful storms, most populated areas. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning, up to 33,000 people impacted in this warning right here. $half size hail right now, but we have seen a few of these southern storms produce larger hailstones here. What other questions do we have? I don't see a ton of other questions. Got a lot of people watching on Twitter this evening. Now on Twitter, I don't think that you can comment on Twitter. You can comment on YouTube and you can comment on Facebook. So I can see all of the chats on Facebook and on YouTube, but I cannot see all of the chats on Twitter. So head over to YouTube and Facebook if you want to comment so that we can see those chats. We have, just so everyone knows kind of how what type of weather coverage that we do. We have meteorologists right now mapping in the other room next to me. We have 3 meteorologists in there, and they are looking for pictures. They're looking for ground truth of what is actually happening with these storms. They are also mapping these storms. They're looking at the radar, they're analyzing it, and they're doing it very, very specifically, almost just, block by block, really looking at what is actually going on in the storm right here. And then, of course, we've got your severe weather coverage that shows exactly where in the world you should be watching for. So you're watching out in North Carolina, or you're watching down in southern Texas. We cover all of that. So we've got lots of hands going on to make those maps right now. Let's see, what other questions do we have? We'll kind of do around the radar here and show you exactly what's happening. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning up in the northern side of North Carolina. This is for $half size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, impacting right around 32,000 people here. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for the next hour, going until 7:45 Eastern Time for Elkin, Mulberry, and Wilkesboro. So we have many severe thunderstorm warnings, severe warned storms going on in North Carolina right now. We counted out, I think, 5 or 6 earlier, and now we are adding to that. Just kind of going over here and seeing what the biggest threat is. One thing that I notice about what's happening on this radar right now is we're seeing these isolated storms become very clustered. They're all kind of going in the same place, right? What we're going to see here is they could congeal into a line of storms, and that's going to help to shift that threat from a hail threat to a wind threat. So right now we're still really focused on that hail threat. However, I'm wondering as these track farther out to the east into places like Greensboro and eventually Charlotte, if we will switch from a hail threat to a wind threat. And the exact timeline of when that's going to happen will be within the next few hours. And let's see if we've got any new updates from the National Weather Service. We actually do have a report of a 57-mile-per-hour wind gust out at the Ashville airport. That is the newest report that I see. Ooh, you know what we have down in Texas? We just got baseball-sized hail down in Texas. Let's see, is it this one right here? There you go. Right, report of estimated baseball-sized hail received by a trained storm spotter at the intersection of FM 2687 and FM 649. Baseball-sized hail, pretty impressive. Actually, a lot of major hailstorms going on in Texas right now. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning that's just to the west of I-35 with golf ball size hail as well. So we've got some pretty impressive storms down in southern Texas. Now there's a lot of storms the farther north that you go into places like North Carolina and into Tennessee. But these hailstones are going to be a lot smaller than baseball size up here. Yeah, these storms are starting to look messy now. They're not as isolated and organized as they were earlier. If you look down into Texas, you see these very isolated thunderstorms. We call these discrete supercells. And what that means is that a storm has time and it has space to organize. And these storms farther up to the north just don't have that. So they're becoming very clustered. They're becoming very messy right now, mitigating that hail threat. Just kind of going through some of these warnings. Do we have anything for anything larger than $50? I don't see anything. These storms just to the north of Athens, warned for $0.50 right here. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 26,000 people impacted. And there's a look at those severe thunderstorm warnings. All right, if I don't have any other questions, I'll hop off of here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. But make sure that you are staying weather aware if you are in any of these states that are impacted by severe weather right now. That includes anyone that's highlighted in pink. That is your severe thunderstorm watch. And that goes until midnight for some people, okay? I think it's a little bit earlier, farther back to the west into places like Nashville. Yeah, we've got this going until 8 o'clock out in Nashville, but then midnight farther back to the east, okay? So I think that these storms closer to I-95 go, there you go, all the way into midnight Eastern time. And that is all that I have for you on this Thursday evening. But we have a noon weather show every single weekday and occasionally on the weekends, depending on how wild the weather is. So make sure that you watch us over there. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday evening, and we'll see you back here, same place, tomorrow at noon.